The DNVR Rockies podcast is brought to you by our friends at Manscaped, the best in below-the-waist grooming. They've got the proper tools so you can take care of your family jewels. And guys, I gotta tell you, it's an absolute must these days. You gotta take care of your downstairs, not just get nice and trimmed up so you don't have any of those, issues with all the entanglements, but you also want to make sure you're smelling fresh, you're feeling fresh. So whether you're getting that lawnmower 3.0, a little bit of deodorant, a little bit of toner, just some fantastic smelling stuff. Maybe you want to get the most comfortable pair of boxers you've ever worn in your life. Either way, you got to take care of your downstairs if you want your downstairs taken care of. And you can't do any better than going to manscaped.com and using the promo code DNVR to get 20% off plus free shipping. Again, that's DNVR to get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast, brought to you by Strava Craft Coffee. Remember to use that promo code DNVR20 for first-time users to get 20% off, and DNVR25 for second-time users to get 25% off your entire purchase of that CBD-infused deeply rich. How's this even go, Patrick? I messed up my own intro. I haven't done it. How many times have I done this thing? I was like, wait, I paused in the middle. Don't ever pause in the middle of your intro.
It's like doing the Pledge of Allegiance, and then if someone pauses you for a second, you're like, I got to go back from the beginning again. What letter comes after? Hold on. A, B, C, D, E. Okay, start again. Take two.
That's CBD infused, deliciously rich, and potentially life-altering. Those are the three things that I say every day. Strava Craft Coffee. I'm your host, Drew Kreisman, the managing editor of DNVR Rockies. With me, as always, is beat writer Patrick Lyons. And we've got what we're basically going to have to start calling the DNVR Rockies draft crew along with us today. Of course, the queen of DNVR Rockies drafts, Michaela E. Perkins, our director of social media. I think you're like undefeated in these things. So the pressure's on.
Sounds about right.
And this one's quantitative too. This one, there are rules, so we'll keep track. So there's no opinions. You are either the king or queen or ruler, whatever you want to be.
Of course, we got Big Drive Spence Smith from the golf situation here at DNVR. If you're a golf fan, you got to be following. What's up, Spence?
What up?
I love your office, man. You always look like you're coming to us from just the sportsiest of places.
That is me. That is me too, in a nutshell. Do
you live inside a mall from the late 90s in a former Foot Locker? That's what it looks like.
Locker. Yeah.
Yeah, that is what it looks like, dude. I have so many pairs of shoes that I store them behind doors in my closet. It's crazy how many pairs of shoes I have, really.
So we have Michaela E. Perkins, Patrick D. Lyons. I know because I know him personally. It's Drew E. Kreisman. What's
Spencer E. Smith?
Oh, we got three.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What's your middle name?
Edgar.
Why wouldn't we make that a game?
That's a great name.
Drew,
Edgar's
what's your middle name?
It's Ian, but it's spelled E-A-Y-N. It's the male form of the Irish female Anne, A-Y-N. That's my mother's middle name and my grandmother's first name.
There we go.
Ian,
mine's every white girl's middle name ever,
Elizabeth.
Yeah. But I actually have a cool reason for it, so it's not that basic, but I won't bore you with the details.
And can anybody guess what my middle name is?
Well, I know this.
I'm going to guess you're not. Oh, you do, Drew? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're out. So Michaela and Spence will give you a quick crack at it.
I was just going to guess Drew, just because that would be ironic.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
Great if
incorrect, but it's okay.
Dan.
Yeah, it's Dan and not Daniel. Spence, what are we doing here, dude? No, it would be Dennis.
Dan.
Yeah, Dave. Patrick Dave Lyons. No, it would be Dennis or my father.
Oh, okay.
So we got 3 E's and a D. Okay, here we go.
Love it. All right. Fantastic. Well, hey, what we're going to do today is, as I mentioned before, we're going to be drafting superstar players of Major League Baseball, people that we think are most likely to either win MVP or Cy Young. That's right, the Superstar Players Draft of 2021. Is that the year? You got to say that, right? Got to bring all the draft. Got to get that pomp and circumstance of the big draft coming. Where's the thing? Do we have? There it is. There we are. Rules. Look at us. Look at us on there.
In full disclosure, I did not choose Drew to be Mookie Betts, although he is now officially DNVR Betts with 2 T's.
With 2 T's.
Spence, are you feeling good about being Mike Trout? What do you think?
Yeah, he looks a little scrawny compared to me, but I'll take it.
Ooh, shots fired. Okay. And I assume I'm Aaron Judge. You can't tell there, but I think I'm Aaron Judge, which it makes sense, as a guy from the New York area. Though I could have also been Mike Trout. I'm wearing red today. He's from the same general area, a certain state that
no one's ever.
I'm going to get into the minutia. Yeah, I don't think anyone cares.
No one.
Actually, that's true. No one does care, but we're both from Jersey. And Michaela,
would look really good with my hair.
That's true. I thought Michaela, it has to be Tatis. Spence, you could have been a good Tatis with your locks flowing too.
I'm a Tatis stan though. He's my guy.
Give away draft strategy now.
If you had to pick someone though, if you had to pick a superstar that, again, not necessarily, we'll get into the draft and we'll pick these guys and we'll talk about the specifics of the rule. So Michaela, you definitely would go. You slap your cartoon head on top of Fernando Tatis. I think that works. Spence, Drew, who would you take? I might take Mike Trout. I could do that.
I'd probably go Bartolo Colon.
Go straight Bartolo Colon.
I like similar physiques though. That's the only thing.
Give me about 20 years and I'll be there.
Pierre, can I still? Is that not? Can I still have one? Can you be my answer for all?
That's on brand. That's so perfect. Yeah, because it's a superstar draft, and when you're talking superstars,
and when you're talking superstars, you have to start with Juan Pierre. Rules.
All right. Well, actually, before we get into the rules, we got to figure out a draft order, don't we?
Oh yeah. Okay, let's do that. Yeah.
All right. So I can look this up pretty quickly now. According to Fangraphs, I will sort the Colorado Rockies and the amount of players listed since 1993 as DH. I have no idea. Okay. So how many players, according to Fangraphs, have been the designated hitter for the Colorado Rockies?
Interesting.
Michaela, don't hurt yourself thinking about this one. This is a weird one, right?
This is weird. Yeah. Okay. I've got a number in mind.
All right, you're going in first. Okay.
You want me to say mine first? Should we just start that way?
That is a good way of doing it. Yes, that is a good way of saying it rather than me thinking it.
And I really have no idea. I could be way off, but the number I've got in my mind is 12.
Okay. I think that seems maybe a little low, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's way off compared to the number I was thinking in my head.
Okay. All right, Spence, go ahead. You got a number. Fire away.
All right, I'm cutting down a little bit. I'm going to go 74. It seems high, but like 27 years. They play a couple, like if they have 2 to 3 DHs a year, like this is per game, right? This is like one game dude is named DH and then
you came in as a DH one time. Okay, yeah. All right. And
if you came in as a pinch hitter, and stayed in the game, which isn't actually how the DH works, Fangraphs may still include that, but again, that's probably very, very minimal. All right, I'll say it. I'll think out loud on the fly. I figured they've probably averaged
just thinking like the playoffs, like
maybe 6 different players each year
per year
has been the DH. Maybe a little bit higher. Maybe it's closer to 7 or 8. I must change that to 7. And they've been around for about 30 years. Let's round it up. So that's 30 years. That would be 210 games that you could have had a DH. With overlap.
Kind of math I was not ready for today, as you could tell.
52.
He's going 52.
52. I think Spence that's a high number, but I like that.
I went with the Price is Right. I bet $1, like Price is Right style. I'm just trying not to go over. All right, Michaela.
I'm trying to like thought process this in my head, but like nothing's like computing right now. So I'm just going to throw out like, I don't even know.
I don't think there is a way to really mathematically figure
I don't know.
Yeah. I just
65. I don't know.
Okay, Matt Kemp is the only name showing up for me right now, but let me change the search
I
features.
win. There was only one, and I win. Got it.
Okay, Patrick, this was a horrible way to determine draft order.
No. That's not the answer. That's not actually the answer.
No, it couldn't possibly be. I love that I just totally spaced on interleague even being a thing for a minute. I'm gonna have to get the look. There's been very little baseball in the last year.
Okay.
Very minimal games.
Yeah.
Well, this did not work out because my quick Fangraph search, which I'm good at Fangraphs, I'm very good at Fangraphsing, pulled up 5 players ever. So I don't know why it's done that. I think that's because Fangraphs doesn't.
All right, congrats, Drew. You're a winner.
you got it. I think it's because they place players in those specific positions.
Yeah, and
so Matt Kemp was a DH for much of last year. And for anyone else curious, Greg Vaughn is considered a Rockies DH. Bubba Carpenter, which is a great name. He's done a couple things in his career. Derek White and Tim Olson. 3 plate appearances, 1 game. And I'm guessing he was the DH, and that was it. That was his primary position. So, okay, I really would like to know the answer to that. But as it were, we're definitely going to have to wait on that. So, Drew, you're going to draft first.
We'll go in reverse order. All right.
Michaela, you're going to go second. I'm going to go third. And that leaves Mr. Spencer E. Smith as fourth. So, Drew, you are going to be up first. Let's hear how the rules go. Let's see how it breaks down. Hitters and pitchers, we tried to balance it so that they're relatively similar. Again, you're going to get the most points for drafting the MVP or the Cy Young in their respective positions. So for hitters, in addition to 20 points for winning the MVP, you also get 10 points if your player is selected as an all-star. We are selecting superstars after all. If they happen to have a 3 home run game, you'll get 10 points for each one of those games. And 1 point for home runs. So, again, there's only one MVP, so you might want to just say, hey, who's going to hit a crap ton of home runs? That's a pretty solid strategy. And for pitchers, 20 for winning the Cy Young Award. At this point, there is no bonus if you win the MVP or Cy Young Award for pitchers. 20 points again for All-Star Game, 10 points for a no-hitter, and 3 points for a win. We had a lot of debate. I crunched some numbers. Much better than you just heard me do
we
5 minutes ago. But crunched some numbers, and I said, we need to make about 3 points for a win because it is pretty darn rare.
Yeah.
So we got Drew, you go. Spencer, Patrick, Michaela. Let's get to drafting.
Well, my first pick in the 2021 MLB Superstar Players Draft, brought to you, this pick is brought to you by Breckenridge Brewery. I'm sipping some tasty Avalanche Amber out of here. Still have not gotten my hands on the seltzers. I don't know what a guy's got to do to track down the seltzies. They must be popular because they keep selling
I'm double
out.
fisting.
Look at that right there. Spence has got it all taken care of, so you can go to him
King
for all
Supers.
the expert advice. I know Max had them, plenty of them. It's all good. Damn good beer, damn good seltzies. You get them at King Supers. You get them at the liquor store. You get them down at the DNVR bar. They're tasty. They're delicious. They're fantastic. You know all about Breck Brew. And, you get a bigger Breck Brew when you come down to the DNVR bar if you're a member of the family. But that's not all you get. You've got to become a member of the DNVR family because right now we'll hook you up with a free T-shirt if you become a member. And perhaps most fantastically exciting for all of you out there is that we'll hook you up. The next 300 members who sign up for the annual get a holistic stick. That's 10 milligrams of CBD focused on recovery. Really fantastic stuff. You can check out the reviews at holisticwellness.com. That's HOLISTIK wellness.com and become a member at the DNVR.com today. I forgot the promo code. Got to shout out the promo code. DNVR30 will get you 30% off your first purchase at holisticwellness.com as well. So it's just promos on top of promos on top of promos. Being a member, always a good idea here. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the position where I feel like I got to start. I got to start with a pitcher. As much as I might want to go a different direction, I've got to start with a pitcher. I've got to break Michaela's heart, and I've got to make the very first pick in the 2021 MLB Superstar Players Draft of the New York Mets starting pitcher Jacob deGrom. I think with the Mets being improved, I still don't think they'll be as good as people think, but they will be improved. So he will win more games. He'll lose fewer of those where he pitches 7 or 8 innings, leaves 1-0. So he'll get his wins. And I think he's as good of a lock for any, as far as National League Cy Young, National League MVP, American League Cy Young, American League MVP. I think he's the strongest leading candidate for any of those individual awards. So I'm taking Jacob deGrom.
And he's going to have to, because the interesting thing is over the last 3 seasons, or 2.5, right? Last year maybe it was a half. But over the last 3 years, deGrom has only won 25 games. 30 different players have won more games than him than that. So you're going to get on the back end, and he's going to be an all-star too. So
yeah,
that's a good pick. That's a great pick.
That's Cy Young.
And you're throwing Michaela for a loop. You're putting her on the defense now. That might even be the best strategy rather than just the player you got. It's just for that alone.
I'm fine. I'm chilling. I'm good.
All right,
Michaela, you are up then.
All right. I think with the second pick, I'm going to go with the player whose my face is on for the graphic, of course. I'm going to take a hitter because I think that strategy is going to work better for me. And I'm going to take Fernando Tatis Jr. Dude's a stud. He is the Grand Slam, Slamorama home run hitter. I think he won't be outshined by as many people on the roster as probably someone on the Dodgers will be. So I think it'll be easier for him to stand out. He hit 17 home runs last year, 22 home runs the year before that. I mean, the dude's a slugger. He's just got so much going for him. And if anyone ever tells him not to hit grand slams again, I'm going to come for them personally, because that was the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. He should keep hitting grand slams, keep being swaggy, keep balling out, because I think he's a stud. And I think he's going to rack up a lot of points for me in that home run category this year.
Yeah, if he's healthy, I definitely think he's going to be at least close to 40. He's going to start the All-Star game at shortstop. So right there, that's a guaranteed lock. And I really love the point you made about MVP. Like Machado's there. It's either Machado or Tatis on that side as far as an everyday leader. Whereas with the Dodgers, you could get it from just about anywhere. So I really like that.
Sportsbook has him as plus 850 as a favorite to win the National League MVP. So going with my guy.
Love that. Love that pick. All right. Well, much like Drew, I had to come up with some metrics. I called it the mega metric because we're talking about these superstars. And I figured out pretty quickly, you know what, in pitching, there's a lot of depth, but there's only one guy that's kind of head and shoulders above the rest. And now that I say this out loud, I'm realizing there's somebody really great that's available. And maybe I should just, what? I'm going to change my strategy altogether. Mike Trout. That's it. Mike Trout.
Mid-sentence, Mike Trout.
This is just a no-brainer. And I know Spencer's going Mike Trout. I mean, he would be a moron not to. So I'm a double moron if I pass up. And I'm going to hope my guy is still there, because there is some depth at pitching once you get past the top. I can't just pass up Mike Trout. That right there is going to be some buku points. Sorry, Spence. Connor Joe's still available, though.
That's actually a great pick. I think so. With my final pick in the first round, 4th overall, I have to go with the guy that you can basically not just pencil, but Sharpie in 20 wins this season, Garrett Cole. I don't think there's any way with that offense and how good he's been recently that he's not going to win 20 games. So there's 60 points for me right there. And probably with that 20 to 22 games, one is putting himself top 3 for Cy Young. So fingers crossed on the injury front. But I think he's been pretty good there his whole career. So as long as he's healthy the whole year, I'm racking up wins every 5 days.
That was the right pick. Second in the Cy Young in 2019, fourth last year. But most importantly, yeah, he has the most wins in baseball over the last 3 years. And I even looked at, how many wins does he get per start, or rather, how many starts per win, and he has the best rate out of anybody, and he's on the Yankees. So I mean, he's going to get his fair share of wins. So that was the pick right there. And I said, you're obviously going to pick Trout, but maybe you'll let Cole fall to me. Alas, that's not the case. So you still got another pick. You got another pick
indeed,
there, buddy.
yeah.
All right, snaking back around to my first pick in the second round. I'm going to take a guy that I think could be a 40-40 guy this year, which will help us or help me a ton in this draft. It makes it so hard for me to pick players in the Rockies division, so I didn't do that, and I'm going to go with Ronald Acuna Jr.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
One thing we should mention too, that we all communicated on our work call, it was that you got to have at least two of every position. So we got to have a little bit more balance. So you can't just load up on one area over another. So Spence already's got one pitcher, one hitter, and man, Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole and Ronald Acuna Jr.
Garrett Cole being taken off the board really has me thrown for a loop here. Not sure exactly where I should go next, but I guess I got to go with some chalk a little bit to a degree. And I'm going to go with Mr. Max Scherzer of the Washington Nationals. Somehow he's in the final year of a 7-year contract. Now, the Nationals are going to be a little bit questionable this year. If you're buying into them with Schwarber coming over for a 1-year pact, you also have Josh Bell there. So that NL East is very competitive, but it would not surprise me at all if Max Scherzer was able to win the Cy Young Award again. He's got 34 wins over the last 3 years.
It shouldn't surprise anyone if he does. Yeah, I mean,
that is my favorite non-Rocky in the MLB. Is Max Scherzer.
Okay, all right.
He has two different colored eyes. He has the fire of 1,000 suns when he pitches. He yells random profanities to himself. Like you can't not love that guy. You can't.
Mad Max is the dude.
Scott saying Mac looked like she was happy about that pick.
You did. That bothers me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't believe he's still available at this point.
Okay. Good. I thought that was more of a. Wait, he's like 10th on my pitcher list there.
No, yeah, I'm excited for my pick. Do I get to go? Am I next?
Yeah,
you're up. You are on the clock.
All right. Well, I might be crowding my roster a little bit too much with National League players, but I mean, Mookie Betts. Hello.
Hello.
Betts.
He has the best odds in the National League right now to win MVP at plus 750 on DraftKings Sportsbook. I mean, I know he's on the Dodgers and the Dodgers have a lot of hitters, but I mean, dude's an all-star. Like he's so good at baseball, and I think he's got a good shot at winning MVP. So I'm taking Mookie.
What we're doing, right? We're kind of picking guys that are pretty good at baseball. So
pretty good at baseball. That seems
that.
like a solid pick for a guy who's pretty good at baseball.
I mean, yeah, I would say he's all right.
All right. Well, that's a good pick. I like that pick. I do feel like I could take some opportunity to talk a little trash on some of the other picks so far, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that guy. Look, Scherzer's getting up there in age. I'm just saying, we'll see about all that. Tatis's got a lot to prove yet. It's tough to win back-to-back MVPs. That doesn't happen a whole lot. So like the Mookie pick or whatever, I'm going to take somebody in the National League who's never won an MVP, who absolutely should and is going to be because he's finally on a team that people care about and pay attention to. That's right. Former Colorado Rocky, third baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals, Nolan Arenado. He's going to be the MVP of the National League. The guy hits over 30 home runs every year. He's hit over 40 home runs 3 times. He's going to be an all-star. So I've got my home runs and my all-star stuff taken care of. He's going to play the defense that he plays. He's going to get the attention he gets. like I said, some of these other guys are going to have stuff working against him. Tatis is going to be splitting that with Machado. There's going to be some Mookie's. There's other guys on that team, and he's going back to back. Nolan Arenado is going to be the man in St. Louis. It's going to happen. Right.
Got line of protection with Paul Goldschmidt, and fifth in all of baseball in the last 3 years. He's fifth in home runs with 87. So again, you're a lock for the All-Star game bonus, and as well as getting 40 home runs out of him, most likely.
Yeah,
love that pick.
All right. Also, you guys' picks were great. We just never down talk other people's choices in these drafts, and I just had to be like, look. Notice I didn't say anything about Spence's team. I'm like, damn, that's a good team.
Mookie Betts probably should have been in the first round because he does everything that Mike Trout does. Right? A few less home runs. But
Trout has some of that
MVP
working against him too, though, right? So Trout has the problem of he's won an MVP before, and Trout has the other problem of the team's probably not going to be very good. He'll get his home runs. He'll be an all-star. He may not be MVP depending on how people feel about all that this year. So with my snaked pick now, the first pick in the third round of the draft, I got to go over to the American League because I've got my National League pitcher. I've got my National League hitter, and I'm going to go with a guy I'm counting on to stay healthy this year because if he does, the home runs will take care of him all by itself. I got to go with Giancarlo Stanton of the New York Yankees. Again, a guy that if he just stays healthy, the home runs come and you get MVP votes by being in New York. The health is the only thing that's concerning me there, but big home run potential. Like we're talking about a guy who could very easily hit over 50 home runs if he just stays healthy in that ballpark.
All right. So since you inspired this idea of trashing on each other, that's an awful pick.
No,
no. It's funny. I did a little spreadsheet of guys and how many home runs they've hit over the last 3 years, and of the top 50. Franmil Reyes is 50th with 62. No, I will not be drafting Franmil Reyes, even if this went 10 rounds. But Mike Stanton, formerly Mike,
been a while.
Currently, Giancarlo Stanton,
right.
Is not even on that list.
He's been injured.
Hurt. Yeah. And so to me, that feels like it could be a reach. If he's healthy, though, he's in that MVP conversation.
I'm getting my homers.
That's true.
I'm counting more. That's more of I'm counting on. I'm definitely getting my points from homers and all-stars. MVP, I need him to be healthy. But yeah. The total home runs, like you said, it's just he hadn't been there. The year before that sample size, he hit 59 home runs all by himself. So
and we are only counting the home runs by the guy, not his teammates. So yes, it was by himself.
That's
it
right.
wasn't aided.
So, it wasn't aided. You're right. You're right. Key. Yeah, no one helped him with those home runs.
It was an unwritten rule. Unwritten rule.
All right, fella. Where are we back to now? Max next?
Michaela.
I think it's my turn. Yeah. All right. I'm going to take a picture here, but I'm trying to smartly strategize in my head which one I want to take because according to my draft board, they're still available and they were really high up on my board. So I think with my next pick, I'm going to take Shane Bieber.
It's a very good pick. Very good pick.
Fantastic.
Dude is unreal. He had an ERA plus of 281 last year. A great pitcher all around. I think he sometimes gets a little overlooked because he plays for Cleveland, and we all know how we feel about Cleveland. So sure. I'm excited for him. He also has the best odds to win Cy Young in the AL, aside from Garrett Cole. So I'm going to go with Mr. Shane Bieber.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot.
That's
it was either Bieber or Scherzer. I didn't like the idea of Cleveland. I mean, they're always going to be good. And again, they lost a lot this offseason. So I do worry about his ability to win games more so than pitch. But if we know anything about the Cy Young Award voting, is you could win a Cy Young Award with 12 wins, and that's a major jump up. So to me, that was a deterrent. Can he win games like DeGrom? Yeah. Like we know he can win games, but he's not getting those wins. And really, we should have Manny Randhawa on this episode to talk about.
I was going to say
this whole draft is right.
He'd love this.
Man, there's still some depth at pitching, so I'm going to have to skip that one for right now, and I'm going to go with a guy that Man, I think he's going to have a huge bounce back year. And if you look at players that have finished first or second in MVP voting and who've done it twice, Trout's off the board. Betts is off the board, but still available with the second most amount of home runs in the last 3 years with 92. You probably don't think about this guy as hitting a lot of home runs, but he has, and he does. That would be Mr. Christian Yelich. Now, he could have slipped. He could have slipped. I don't know. I mean, Spence and Michaela, they know their stuff pretty well. I don't think he would have gotten much further, but he's a guy that, again, and who else is doing it on that Milwaukee team? They somehow scrap their way to a postseason, it seems like, every year, and that NL Central is up for grabs. So I think he could really sneak in there with little to no competition on his team and win MVP single-handedly, as
by
the rule
himself.
states. By himself.
All right, so back-to-back picks again. I was thinking about taking a pitcher here, and then I decided I should probably take a hitter. And then I thought maybe I should just take a guy that's both. And maybe this is a loophole that will get turned down. But with the possible first pick or fourth pick in the third round, I'm going to draft Shohei Ohtani from the Los Angeles Angels. He may win 10 to 12 games. He also may hit 20 homers.
Did Spence just break the draft?
I'm trying to think. The Superstar Fantasy Draft Committee is over here to my right, and they are scrambling to try to recalculate a couple of things. But I'm getting thumbs up for the most part.
This pick is like too clever to throw out. It's too, I think, and we got to give him the points for everything, right? For the wins and the homers. Yeah. Wow.
But here's the thing, because he's doing both part-time, let's hear it out. 10 wins.
Cy Young MVP.
That would be a good amount. 10 wins, that's 30 points. And then you take, if he hits 20 home runs, which is a lot, that's another 20 points. That's 50 points. You got to imagine he's an all-star, so that's gonna net you about 60 points, not factoring in any postseason awards, right? And maybe that helps him for MVP. But by comparison, the last full season that we had, Mike Trout had 75 points. Cody Bellinger had 75. Trevor Story only had 45 because he was not the MVP. That's where you're picking up the big points. And then on the pitching side, Justin Verlander broke the bank because he did throw a no-hitter in his Cy Young Award season. So he had 103 points. DeGrom had 63 in 2019. And by comparison, a guy like Kyle Freeland, who was fourth in the Cy Young Award voting, had a solid season, was worth 51 points. So if Ohtani can do those things, it's not totally gonna, break the system, but it is a good way to kind of balance and play both sides.
Clever way to get there. Yeah, I love that pick, Spence.
So here's the question then: is what does he count as for my 2 and 2? Do I have to
yes.
say? Okay, so I have to have 2.
He counts as neither a hitter nor.
I don't know.
That is fair.
He's your wild
That is
card.
absolutely okay. Yeah. I love it. All right. Well, with my next pick, I am going to take my final pitcher. And like I said earlier, I don't like to take players from the Rockies division, but factoring in the possible Cy Young, there's a lot of talent here, is kind of sketch, but I think this guy's going to throw a no-hitter at some point this year. And if not soon, very, very soon in his career, I'm going to take Walker Buehler from the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Ooh, that's a smart pick.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. That's who I was trying to pick between Bieber and Walker.
Yeah. Buehler's a good choice too, because I think with the, everybody knew coming into that division, obviously Trevor Bauer coming to that team and people being excited about that or whatever, but Buehler's going to be right there, sometimes facing off against other teams like number 3s and number 4s and just eating up those wins and picking up some. Yeah, I think he's in for a big year. I like that. It's a good pick. Yeah,
if Rockies fans haven't already been sick to their stomachs enough, I looked this up the other day, and the Rockies picked Brendan Rodgers over Walker Buehler in, I believe, the 2013 or 14 draft. So just that little nugget of fun.
I didn't need to know that.
Fun, huh? It's a fun nugget?
Fun nugget.
That was the F word that you used.
Maybe a shed a tear nugget.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, I still got 2 picks left. Still need a pitcher, but I feel like there's a decent amount left where I don't know, might be splitting hairs, so I'll kind of let you guys decide how it goes down. And man, there's still a lot of really good pitchers. If we had more time, I would love to go a lot deeper with this because I think there's so much value, especially on the hitter side. And man, I can't stop thinking about the comment that Michaela made about for the position players, for guys kind of having to battle within their own team with superstars. And, and again, it might be a safe pick to say like a Giancarlo Stanton where, yeah, he might not be the MVP. It still might be, LeMahieu's team. But if Stanton goes out and hits 45 home runs, I mean, that's an important value. You
Right.
need guys like that are just consistent, right? So if I'm going with consistency, I've got to have Manny Machado. I've got to have him. He eluded me. He eluded my grasp when we did the future Hall of Fame thing because Michaela got in my head that one too, talking about, the fan vote. And I go, okay, all right, they're not going to want to pick a Padres guy, so I'm not going to go him. Oh, Buster Posey, he's in the division. I can't pick him. And so then I go with Craig Kimbrell, who's, come on, what was that? So, yeah, Machado, and again, I'll just take him for the home runs. That's fine. He's probably going to be an all-star as well. Be him and Arenado on the left side of the infield, and I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that.
Who are you taking?
You should have been paying attention. Again, I need a strategic advantage here, so it's just too bad if you missed it, and we'll just have to criticize you. No, I picked Manny Machado.
Oh, that's right. Okay. No, okay. I remember.
It was either him, and I'll say it because I don't think it'll come back around to me, and I have to pick a pitcher anyway. It was either him or Cody Bellinger. And again, it kept coming back to, with Bellinger battling Betts and a few more other high caliber position players and some pitchers. Where on the Padres, I know they just brought in a bunch of guys. None of them are really superstars. They're just very good. So I think Machado might have that better chance. And with Bellinger, he's weird. He can be weird with, kind of having those little injuries. Busted his forearm in the World Series. He's a little all over the place in the outfield. He's tinkering with his swing. And so that was the deciding factor of why I went with Manny Machado and why you obviously can't pick Cody Bellinger since I've just now spoken so ill of him.
Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that, Patrick. I'll be honest. Well, this draft has gone perfectly for me, and I'm really excited so far. So I'm living my life,
All right.
the best life. With my pick, I'm going with Juan Soto, and I still can't believe that he's also available. I mean,
that surprised me.
Holy cow, he's so good. He has I think he's projected a 27 home run year this coming 2021 season, which is great for me. I mean,
is that a DraftKings line? 27.5? Because you got to hit that over on that.
Over, yeah.
That's a no-brainer with John
27.5
and Kyle Schwarber behind him. He is going to blow up this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's so, he had 5 MVP votes last year. He came in 5th place. I can't remember. I think something like that. But
That's
anyway,
right.
He's really good. And I'm really happy that he was still available. Kind of shocked, but we're living life.
That's a great pick. I feel like, especially if that Nationals team is solid. But he's such a good, exciting player. That's who I was going to take next. So I shouldn't even pretend like that wasn't that
was the guy on my radar as well.
That was the right pick. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Juan Soto. That's a really fun pick. I feel like.
So just to recap a little bit, we'll give you some time to think because you got back-to-back picks here, Drew.
Yeah.
So Michaela just wrapped up with her 4th player, and she needs to take a pitcher. But so far she has Tatis Jr., Mookie Betts, Shane Bieber, and Juan Soto. We've got Mr. Spencer E. Smith with Garrett Cole, Ronald Acuna Jr., Shohei Ohtani, and Walker Buehler. I have Mike Trout, Max Scherzer, Christian Yelich, and Manny Machado. And so far, Drew has taken Jacob deGrom, Nolan Arenado, and Giancarlo Stanton. 2 players from New York because he's the one from New Jersey. This draft is really throwing me for a loop.
voters work. Man. I know how MVP voters work, but sometimes feeling the stress about these drafts can get you a little bit agitated. But one thing that makes sure that I'm never agitated, that's right, I said it, is Manscaped. Get Manscaped. That'll keep you nice and smooth everywhere you need to be. And telling you, fellas, they're the best in below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over technology, the developments that provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. An exclusive offer for our listeners. If you use the promo code DNVR, you'll get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Whether you're getting that lawnmower 3.0 for all your trimming needs, you just need to restock on some specialized deodorant, the most comfortable pair of boxers you've ever worn in your life, some spritzer, some toner, whatever you need, find it at manscaped.com and use that promo code DNVR to get 20% off plus free shipping today. And before I give my picks, I've also got to give a shout out to our friends over at Green Mountain Dental, the best damn family-owned dentistry in the Denver metro area, located just 15 minutes outside of downtown Denver. They're the absolute best. They'll take care of you. They'll treat you like family. They'll hook you up with a free Sonicare toothbrush when you schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam. And Mac, you just were in there. Let the people know, because you and I both are not exactly excited to go to the dentist type of people. And so let them know.
Yeah, I actually had my appointment with Green Mountain Dental yesterday. They filled 2 cavities for me. And if anybody knows me, they know how much I absolutely hate the dentist. Usually I'm claustrophobic. I don't like hands in my mouth. Like, the whole experience gives me anxiety, but by far and away, my experience with Green Mountain Dental has been the best dental experience of my life. Dr. Ben and his whole staff are amazing. Hi, tech boy. He filled my cavities faster than any dentist I've ever had. It was virtually kind of painless, as painless as getting your cavities filled can be. He was efficient, in and out. He and his staff explained to me everything that was going on, so I wasn't in the dark. He makes the communication very simple, so if you're not in the medical field, you know what's happening with your medical care, your dental care. I seriously cannot describe how amazing Dr. Ben and the whole Green Mountain Dental staff is. If you have a dentist, leave them. If you don't have a dentist, go find them. Green Mountain Dental is the place for you to be. It's a family-owned dental practice, so they make you feel like you're a part of that family. I will not go anywhere else from here on out for any dental care in the future. I cannot recommend them enough. Take it from me. They filled my cavities yesterday. I am doing great. They did a phenomenal job. It's the best dental experience I've ever had. Please go check out Green Mountain Dental. Tell them that DNVR sent you. We would appreciate it.
Boom.
There are, in a way, there are like 3 different types of dentists. And really the first 2 are kind of the same. They're just those awful ones that should be disbarred. And then the ones that are like, they're okay, but they make mistakes and they're whatever. They're really in their own category of like not good. And it's the reason why so many people just have a fear of dentists. And then you have the final category where Green Mountain Dental is, where you go, not only do they know their stuff, but they're going to make you feel comfortable, because that's part of the experience too, not just, the state of your mouth and the condition of that going forward. It's about your comfort when you're there, so that you come back and you continue to have that positive dental care, which is just as important. So
I can't say enough good things. Like, even if they weren't our partner, I would still continue to go back to them. And I'm not just saying it to say it. Like, they genuinely are the best dentists, the best dental practice I've ever been to. I'm not kidding. Please go check out Green Mountain Dental. They are worth every second of your time and money.
All right. And first of all, who would have thought we'd ever be getting requests for more kale? So who knew?
Tech boy.
You've been requested. I'm going to go a little bit off the board. I'm going to get a little bit creative with my final 2 picks here, and maybe pick a couple of guys who haven't been considered for these types of positions before. You may not have thought of them as being in these conversations, but I think they're guys who are coming into it. And so I could have gone a couple of different directions here, and one of the picks wasn't even on my board at all to begin with. I've got a list of 10 names here, and I'm not even using them. the first guy I'm going to go with, even though I'm competing with myself for National League Cy Young against DeGrom, I'm going to take another Cardinal, a guy I think is overlooked. I think that team's going to have a big year. He's an extraordinary pitcher. I think he's going to work his way into that Cy Young conversation, especially if and when that team is good. And I'm taking Jack Flaherty. Again, maybe not a guy that a lot of people would have thought of. He hasn't really been in the Cy Young conversation just yet, but I think he's ready for it. And I think it's time for him. And going the other way, this is the one that wasn't even on my board to begin with. I'm getting a little bit creative here. I'm going to ride the excitement of an up-and-comer and go with my new American League team. I'm going to pick a Toronto Blue Jay, and I'm going to go with Bo Bichette as my final pick in this super. I got to have one guy because, the MVP, half the time it's the guy you expect it to be. It's the chalk. It's Mike Trout. It's Mookie Betts. It's whatever. And the other half of the time, it's that dude who comes from somewhere and carries a team on his shoulders who people weren't expecting to be there. I think Bo Bichette has that kind of potential. There are other guys on that same team I could have picked. Comments, yes, I see you. But I think Bichette is the guy. I think he's more positioned. I think he's more developed. I think he's more ready to do it. That could end up looking absolutely silly by the end of the year, or that could end up looking like my best pick. So we'll see.
Yeah, Flaherty was a guy that, and according to my metric, was not very high, but I marked him to say, hey, this could be a guy to maybe take with one of my last two picks.
This is
I'm a
projection
big Jack Flaherty
forward.
fan. Yeah, big fan of them. And again, if you got Adam Wainwright in the one spot, Flaherty's going to have a little bit easier competition, is going to win a lot more games. And then Bo Bichette is what is going to have sunk your team. You're a big AL East guy, aren't you?
I'm telling you.
You look like your East Coast guys.
Let's watch the season. Though the nice thing about this is this isn't a fan vote. I don't have to worry about
That's
whether
right.
or not people believe in me or not. All I need is for Bo to show up and hit. So we'll see. We'll see.
Are those both your picks, Drew?
Those are my picks. I am done. My team is set.
Right.
Spence, I know how you felt last week because I know Michaela's going to pick the person that I'm going to pick because I need a pitcher. She needs a pitcher.
Too.
You need a hitter. You need a hitter, Spencer.
No,
so you're in a good spot where you're
I'm already locked in. I'm locked in on my guy already.
You're locked in.
I wish I could take another hitter because I know who I would take in a heartbeat, but I don't think having 4 hitters and only 1 pitcher in this draft class is a good idea for me. I'm bummed I can't take him. And it's not even allowed.
Right.
That's that also too. Who would you take though? But who would you take?
I don't want to give it away because I don't want Spence to pick him.
Okay. All right. We'll get your input on that. We'll see if he did it.
Oh, I'm so sad I can't take him though. Okay. I'm gonna go with someone who has the 4th best odds according to DraftKings Sportsbook in the AL for a Cy Young. He is projected for 10 wins so far this season. I'm gonna take Tyler Glasnow.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay.
Is that not who you're going to take, Patrick?
No, not at all.
Oh.
No, but
no.
That's a good pick.
He was on track for a 200 ERA plus season last season, and I think he can definitely hit that this season. I'm impressed by his stuff. I know, being on Tampa Bay may or may not help his chances, but I mean, he's got the 4th best odds to win the AL Cy Young Award, and I just like Tampa Bay, so I'm going with him.
And see, that's good. So I still spent about 4 hours, preparing for this, which is probably more too much time, as I'm known to do with preparation and things of that nature. But that is one of those elements that I didn't, full disclosure, didn't really look into was, well, what is the chalk? What is DNVR, or rather, what does DraftKings Sportsbook have? Because that's essentially them doing all the work and saying, look, we've done our own metric, and essentially that's it right there. That's the superstar rankings we should have just looked at and just forgotten everything else. Whereas I was focusing a lot on wins and projecting that and home runs, and that was a big element of it. And I think, I could live to regret this one, but he is essentially highest on my draft board. or at least he's up there. And I thought that was who you're going to go with. And I'm going to pick Mr. Trevor Bauer of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yeah,
Whoa.
for the pick or the guy or both?
Whoa. Yeah.
Boo for both?
Both.
Boo for both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just I don't know. I don't think he would have won a Cy Young last year if it hadn't been a 60-win season, but I'm also not a Trevor Bauer stan, so.
Okay. Yeah. So Zach Greinke, full disclosure, Zach Greinke was the next highest. I think, he's getting up there in age. Is he going to break down? There are a couple of interesting picks in like Marco Gonzalez for Seattle, Aaron Nola, Charlie Morton, Lance Lynn. And then it was really between Lucas Giolito and Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw breaks down, so I don't know that you can count on him for wins. And Giolito's probably the one that I'm going to be regretting because you should be picking guys that you like, right? I'm picking Trevor Bauer, though.
Yeah, and since we're talking pitchers and Spence only has a position player left to go, I strongly considered Yu Darvish just because, again, I think he's going to be going up against other teams' number threes. And when you're talking about picking up wins and the Padres winning a lot of games, I've always really liked Darvish as well, but not necessarily to win the Cy Young. That's, again, you're just talking about collecting those W's. But all right, Spence.
I was trying to pick between Giolito and Glasnow, so Giolito's a good one.
Giolito.
Yeah.
All right, so with the final overall pick in the DNVR Fantasy Star Draft, is that what we're calling this?
Close enough.
The All-Star Draft, Superstar Fantasy Draft. I was close. So I could go a couple different ways here. I already have one Dodger, so I'm not going to do that. Bellinger does seem like a good pick here. He did win the MVP award in 2019, but I'm a little nervous about the whole – I think Drew said it's winning the award, not necessarily back-to-back years. Like Freddie Freeman's a guy I love too. So I'm going to back off of both of those guys, and I'm going to go with the full-on heart pick here. And I'm going to take my boy, number 27 for the Colorado Rockies right now, Trevor Story.
Good for you. I'm glad
because
someone did. He's gonna hit bombs. He's gonna be an all-star.
He's gonna hit 30 to 35 home runs at least. And last time I checked, every team has to have an all-star. Is that correct?
that is correct.
And is like that's an immediate 10 points. I mean, is it not? It not
true? And if he gets traded, he could win MVP.
Well, here's the thing: if he gets traded, he's not winning MVP, and that was why I kept him off because
how do you figure?
I should say. If he gets traded to the NL, sure, he could win it. But if he gets traded to the other league, that's going to drastically reduce his potential. Yeah. So I felt like there was a 50-50 shot. But I like the all-star game angle. That's crafty. Yeah.
Because another thing I was thinking about is with you guys' knowledge and me just kind of hanging around at the lowest level of the MLB knowledge, we got to have picked an MVP already in the NL, right? Like he's in there somewhere, whether it's one of my guys or whether it's one of your guys'. So I got to go with a guy I know is going to be an all-star. I know is going to hit 35 bombs. He's going to rack up the points for me. So I'm taking the Stowe show.
Cody Bellinger in the NL.
Pick. I know.
Freddie Freeman in the NL.
I thought about Fred Freeman. Matt's in the comments.
Vladdy! I would have taken Vladdy.
Vladdy over Bo Bichette, yeah.
And a guy maybe some people have heard of, Bryce Harper. How about that? Again, he's been a little inconsistent. But those are guys. And a guy that I really liked as a sleeper, Matt Chapman for Oakland. I mean, he's been putting up some big numbers rather quietly there in Oakland as kind of the guy there. If Oakland ends up winning the AL West, he has a shot of doing it. And we got through this whole thing of 20 players, and no one picked a Houston Astros player. So that's pretty cool.
The Astros
can't imagine why not.
Suck.
And someone did actually pick a Rays player.
Bregman would have been the guy if there was an Astro to pick. Matt, Jose Abreu would have been who I had taken if I hadn't taken Bo Bichette, again, for the kind of security blanket of hitting the home runs. He's probably not going to win MVP. Again, that's not a guy who repeats as MVP, short season or no. That's just not a guy with the talent to do that. But that's a safe pick. Again, that's why I tried to go outside the box and be like, someone who would surprise us, because those guys get extra MVP votes. But
I'm actually so mad I didn't pick Vladdy. I'm regretting my choices now. I should have picked Vladdy.
That's who I thought you were going with, Drew, when you said the Blue Jays there. I was like, maybe George Springer?
It was 50-50 between the two of them until the name came out of my mouth. But as a shortstop, a few more years of experience. I know we're all expecting Vladdy to do the big thing, but I think Bo has just been closer Vladdy's the more fun pick. I think Bo Bichette is ready to be the leader of that team.
After the 29 home run, the 2019, what did I just say?
The
that was not English.
Derby.
Hello. After the 2019 home run derby, I have been the biggest Vladdy fan. He is I'm obsessed with him and everything that he does. Like, he can do no wrong in my opinion. And the Blue Jays are, not looking too bad this year.
They're fun, right? They're
Blue
fun.
Jays are going to be very good this year.
Youngjin Ryu is another guy who's factored into winning a lot of games, so I thought about taking for that same reason. But he was on my list.
And he's been second and third in the last 2 Cy Young Award voting. One in the NL, one in the AL. So, I mean, He's been up there. He's absolutely been a dude. Everyone stayed away from Strasburg. Clayton Kershaw was still out there. Those were kind of those big name guys. Yeah. Chris Sale's banged up. Justin Verlander's banged up. Mike Clevenger's banged up.
Chris Sale,
you have to stay away from.
I will say though, actually, Matt just read my mind in the comments. I was gonna say this coming season and the next few seasons after this, I'm so excited for because of all the young talent that's coming up and that is currently in the majors who I think are gonna be electric, like Tatis, Acuna, Vladdy, Soto even is still pretty young. Like, we are just going to be witnessing some amazing baseball, and I'm so excited for it because I think there's just this. I don't know. Am I alone in this?
No, not at all. It's a booming age for I think the reason maybe Patrick and I have those stoic, sad old man eyes right now is just that the state of Major League Baseball is in a weird spot, and there's the CBA stuff.
I know, the CBA is going to ruin it.
And the game hasn't done a great job of celebrating and promoting what it is you're talking about. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where some of that because I'd love to, you're 100% right. You and Matt and everybody in the comments and these players were so much fun and Story, even these other guys who are 27, Lindor and Story. I thought about Jose Ramirez in my draft today. We haven't mentioned his name, a guy who could more of a bounce back candidate. These guys
basically the entire Miami Marlins roster is a bunch of untapped talent that we're going to get to watch for the next couple of years.
Seattle Mariners as well.
Yeah, the Mariners have a lot of great guys in their system coming up.
It's not the same level of, but I would dare to say that even your Colorado Rockies have a lot of fun young players who are going to be interesting, especially on the pitching side. Marquez could have been interesting. We know he's not actually going to win the Cy Young, and in years past, he would have been an interesting guy to take in a draft like this to at least win some games. I think he'll win some games. In the future, who knows what the future holds for Austin Gomber or guys like this. So it's just it's Ryan Rollison. That we heard some very positive things out of Bud Black today about guys like that. So we got to do a rookie draft sometime. I think we had more time this year. Patrick would have run us through the young guys draft for sure.
Funny thing with Herman Marquez is, again, over the last 3 years, 14th most wins above replacement for a starting pitcher. And then for wins, he's 16th. So, I mean, that's a guy that you go, all right, that's fairly consistent. I mean, maybe he doesn't win the Cy Young Award, but if you're looking for a little bit of safety, someone who's going to get maybe 12, 13 wins, even on a bad club, Herman Marquez is going to be one of those players. And we'd be remiss. There's 3 other names that we haven't brought up that I did like and I did mark. Anthony Rendon, who I think, again, doesn't hit as many home runs,
right?
But I like him a little bit. Eugenio Suarez, who's at 98. He's hit the third most amount of home runs. Second most amount of home runs in all of baseball in the last 3 years.
Yeah, he's not going to win MVP, but I love him. But.
Can I guess who your last guy's going to be?
Me? Yeah, who?
Is it Eloy Jimenez?
No, but I mentioned him ad nauseum on the podcast.
I was going to say.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
No, Aaron Judge. Yeah. That's why I said me, because
Judge.
That's our graphic. But Eloy Jimenez is a great example if you're looking for a buy low candidate for an MVP. Like, these guys pop up. I mean, look at Yelich. I think he won his MVP maybe in his 6th season. Right. Cody Bellinger won it in his 3rd full season. So if you're looking for a guy in his around 3rd or 4th season, Acuna Jr., who you selected in the 2nd round, is a good candidate along with Jimenez. But Aaron Judge, we have to have mentioned all of the superstars. There can't be anybody.
Those are all the stars, right? Who have we not mentioned who's a real superstar in this game?
Did we talk about Lindor?
Not enough.
The
name came up, but not enough. You can never talk about Lindor enough. He was on my list too. Again, I could have taken him instead of Bo Bichette. I thought about it, but I already had so many National League guys. Like I was just like, going against myself here. Let me take an American League guy.
A straight up home run guy, and not necessarily a chance to win MVP, but on a fun team that should be better this year is Pete Alonso. He's going to hit a ton of home runs again this year.
Love the polar bear.
Smart pick. That's
love the polar bear.
All right, so to recap our selections,
teams.
Spencer had Garrett Cole, who I think that was the best pick of the first round. Got him 4th. Again, just kind of head and shoulders above the rest of the pack as far as starting pitching goes. Ronald Acuna Jr., Shohei Ohtani, the most intriguing pick overall of the 20 selections, Walker Buehler, and Trevor Story. I was able to nab New Jersey product, Mike Trout, Max Scherzer, Christian Yelich, which I think was the best pick of the 3rd round, Manny Machado, and Trevor Bauer. Kayla started off with Tatis Jr., Mookie Betts, who fell to 7th, best pick of the 2nd round.
Wild.
Shane Bieber, Juan Soto, best pick of the 4th round. And Tyler Glasnow, that could be the one that decides it. And Drew went with a guy that we all know is going to be Cy Young, Jacob deGrom this year. He's finally going to get some run support with the guys that they added to that lineup, right? That's a great first pick. Nolan Arenado, which if it wasn't for Mookie Betts, would have been the best pick of the 2nd round. Giancarlo Stanton, Jack Flaherty, and Bo Bichette. Superstar Fantasy Draft 2021.
Boom.
Can I say? This is great. We're going to keep track of this all year long. We'll get updates from time to time. We'll see where things go even before the All-Star game. And we want to hear from you as well. If you're listening to this live on YouTube, or you've just downloaded the podcast and listened to it, assemble your team of 5 guys. At least make sure you have 2 of any one position. Don't just load up on position players or pitchers. So go ahead. Who do you have? Let's see if we match your team against ours, and we'll hook you up with some prizes or something if you can beat us. If you can beat us.
Right, that's the thing. It's not just a popularity contest. My God, Bo's going to hit.
This is the first draft I feel good about.
I love it. I think everyone can feel good about it right now because we're all tied.
I think Michaela looks the most worried because she goes, "This isn't a fan thing. This is like you actually. There's going to be proof in the pudding here."
I'm not worried at all. My team's going to win.
Okay.
Max had a pretty solid team.
Not broken a single sweat over here.
I feel fine about Nolan over Mookie. I feel fine about that, but I'm worried about Spence's combination of Cole in the American League and Acuna in the National League. Like that, that's troublesome. Like, because I've got deGrom and Flaherty going against each other. Those guys can't both win the Cy Young in the National League.
Yeah. I got Tatis and Mookie.
Right. You got 2 guys in the NL West, right? So it's like, oh, this is going to be fun. Yeah, we'll keep track of this. As Patrick said, we'll keep you updated. We will put out a poll to see whose team you think is the best and will win. And then we'll match that against who actually wins. And then we can make fun of you, the fan.
I love it.
Yeah, it needs to be a write-in, and you need to take a photograph of your driver's license or your ID,
right.
So that when either 4 of us win, we can say, hey, these were the people that got that right.
These are the ones.
We're going to put you over for that.
So let us know. We'll put it all out there on social media. You'll miss it if you're not following us at Michaela E. Perkins, at Patrick D. Lyons, at Drew Kreisman, at Big Drive Spence, and of course at DNVR_Rockies. You got to follow DNVR on all the social media apps you've got downloaded on your phone. Just follow all the ones you got: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. Just follow us on there. TikTok. I keep forgetting about TikTok.
We have a TikTok now.
I'm old. Yeah. So check out our TikTok if you're younger than I am or just cooler than I am, which the chances are very high. You're at least one of those 2 things. Make sure you're subscribed to the DNVR.com. That's where all the written content is. It's prospect week. Patrick dropped another big. I got straight up, like, Patrick got me excited about a couple of the prospects today. Reading your write-up on Elo Harris.
Words are hard.
Elo Harris Montero.
I was like, Eloy Jimenez. I was like, did I write an article about Eloy Jimenez now too? What am I? Elo Harris Montero.
I believe
body.
Yeah.
40 doubles, 20 homers is some of the projections. So, I mean, you're still upset about your Nolan Arenado being traded, but this guy could be a pretty good dude.
Even you're right up on Tony Losi had me going, okay, maybe this trade was slightly less the worst thing ever than I thought it was before. Slightly less. So thank you all for hanging out with us, doing all that stuff, subscribing to the DNVR.com so you get all that written content, plus the discounts on the hats, the shirts, the masks, the bigger beer when you come down to the DNVR bar. And if you subscribe for that annual right now, you get hooked up with that free shirt and the Recover Holistic Stick from holisticwellness.com. Check them out there. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us for this one. You've been absolutely awesome out there. We've been absolutely Michaela Perkins, Big Drive, Spence Smith, Patrick Lyons, and Drew Kreisman in here. And until next time, we will see you at the ballpark. As always, we hope that show put a smile on your face. And, you know, Mac wasn't joking. Our friends over at Green Mountain Dental really can help give you the best smile you can get without all of those potentially negative experiences that can come with going to a dentist. Certainly any other dentist. As you said, don't walk. Run away from wherever you're getting your dentistry done now. Get out there to Lakewood. Our friends at Green Mountain Dental Group are the absolute best in the business. And they will hook you up with a free Sonicare toothbrush when you schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam today.